I started working in racing when I was 16 years old. I come from the paddock. I've spent half of my high school years starting out working in racing on junior open wheel teams, being a mechanic, doing all kinds of stuff. I'm a highly competitive person. And that's the same thing you're going to find with everyone here working within the teams. I wake up now in this new media role wanting to take all of the oxygen out of the room for the competitors of my clients. It's no different than the guys going over the wall, changing tires, refueling, turning nuts and bolts, whatever they might be doing. It's the same exact mindset. The competition is what I love. And so I'm really fortunate to have found it moving from the team side to doing this. But at least in my mind, nothing's changed. It's no different whether I'm writing a story in terms of accuracy, a driver trying to apex every corner perfectly for every lap of the race. There's always going to be some, hopefully minor percentage that is off a little bit. But you need to keep that fight in your mind going, not, I got it close. Yeah, you're not going to be around very long if you accept lower standards. Went to take my first photo since Indy.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was very darkly composed.
Yeah, no.
That's how fucking good I am.
That's good.
Huh?
I told people you were multi-talented.
I'm professional.
You are, buddy. How are you?
I'm okay.
Still get the rookies get 10 minutes. The rookies, it's all rookies for 10 minutes, right?
Well, they get that extra set.
Just a set.
Yeah. And so everybody's going to sit, most people are going to sit for about 15 minutes before they get rolling. All right, well, I'm going to go try not get run over.
Try not to get run over.
Try.
Take that thing off your camera.
Michael Levitt.
Marshall Pruett.
Hey, my friend.
It's good to see you.
He's already been run over once. Look at this. Hey, Roy, how are you? Coming into your average race weekend, there tends to be a few standard items that you know you're going to cross out. Know you're working on a story, which we usually are coming into a race weekend. A couple things that we've been chasing down. Want to see some people. You know, you can call them. It's always better, though, face-to-face. When they give you a good lie, you can at least get a feel for the parts of the conversation that are hiding something or being open and transparent. And then get inundated with this bullshit and then have to refute it. So yeah, it's kind of fun when people make up their own news that doesn't exist. There's always the question of, is the news thing that you want to break going to negatively impact people in new or different ways? You know, if you find out that someone's been fired and folks are trying to keep it quiet, is there harm in saying someone got fired? He's really making me work for this.
Completing the field. 16th race in this Speed Energy Stadium.
So one of the exciting parts of this job as well is standing around and waiting, especially when people know you want to talk to them, but they don't want to talk to you because they know you're going to ask a question they don't want to answer. I'm patient though. I'm not patient, I'm resilient. So it's kind of a war of who can outlast one another. So what are you guys saying? What are you not saying?
Marshall he's gone from, in my life personally, he's gone from being a person who reported on the sport to becoming a very good friend, and you really get an idea of his passion for the sport. He's got an encyclopedic knowledge of what went before. He's got all the fingers in the pies of what's exactly going on in the future. He's felt a lot of trust in the paddock.
Marshall, good to see you back. Just gracious and nice and always willing to help and he's such a great guy and you know, to see him absent from the paddock for those times here this year, it was like an absence or a void at the track. You always like seeing his face. You always like seeing his smile. You know, it's always fun to be a part of something Marshall does just because of the impact it has on the IndyCar community.
He has a finger on the pulse of his industry and IndyCar racing, and just the knowledge and insight and the way he does it more than anything.
So the main story that we have been chasing coming into this weekend about ABC Supply leaving AJ Foyt Racing, it's distressing. It's the exact opposite of what you want to hear. I realize that news and story-wise, it will capture attention, it will generate traffic. That's fine. These things happen. But from a what you really want, best interest of IndyCar, all you want to do is write stories about more sponsors coming in. You genuinely hate having to write these stories. Again, whether you love them or hate them, that's part of what you have to do. It is what it is. So, anyways, I'll see what I get, and then.
I just can't see AJ shutting the team down.
No. They'll be. So. Now the uncomfortable wait, needing to speak to a team owner about the likely end of a long-term sponsorship arrangement. Never happy. Holy, look at this, brother. I am loving this. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Okay. Michael Shank, my brother. Good to see you. How's the missus? Getting there. Since IndyCar, motor racing in general, is a small community compared to stick and ball sports, I'd say the hardest part of what I do, you know everybody. That's always a struggle. When you hear that this team is firing a driver or this team's getting rid of their engineer, and knowing that ahead of time possibly, the urge is to want to call that person and say, hey, this thing's happening. It hasn't been announced yet, but you'd be wise to look for work elsewhere. I've been on the receiving end where, you're reading rumors about, am I going to have a job in a week, a month, whatever it might be. The part that's, quote, hard is difference between having to balance relationships, trying to maintain good citizenship status in the paddock so you can walk through and not have people chase you with baseball bats, and also doing your job.
Yeah, we see that part. Just a little. Look, I'm doing this for our fans. They don't want to see my face. They want to see yours. Come on, that is true. That's why I don't do it. Jesus, it starts like nothing ever happened.
Well, that was very light this time around.
Very light this time, says Bourdais.
I should have taken my hands off of it.
It's precious.
I thought I was square. And it got my hand off of it, and it went down and just went like that.
The amount of times I get asked, could you please not write that? Could you please hold that for some indeterminate amount of time? I can't give you a percentage, but it feels like it happens a lot.
I think the fans get a small insight into that. Some of the stuff you saw up there tonight, that's what we do. When we pick up the phone, sometimes we'll have this, you want a quote about something, and then there's another hour of just BSing.
So it's an iterative process. You hear things, you try and find out if the things you hear are credible and worth following up. When they are, you start asking questions to others, get more feedback, more confirmation. So you just try and do your best. Like I said, it's a weird place. I have to assume that folks working in, I call it real reporting, or if any of them were to see this, they'd probably laugh going, really? You dick around with all that? You don't just go straight to print after getting your two sources in place? you try and do your best, man. Try and do your best to take care of the community you work in, knowing that sometimes not everything you write is going to make people happy or be super positive.